All right, Jeremy, are you in the line with us? It's a great pleasure to have you this morning here on The Breakfast Show.
Yes, I'm here. Great to be here.
Oh, fantastic. I was looking forward for this conversation with you, Jeremy. When we started our tour around the world with the different cuisines, we spoke about Mexican, we spoke about Thai food, and I was looking forward for the day of Indian food as well, because I must say I love a curry. There's nothing like a good curry, particularly now that we are approaching winter time. If you had like this, hot, warm bowl with a nicely seasoned curry. So, what can you say? What's your experience with Indian cuisine? Tell us, give us, I'm here, I'm ready to soak all the wisdom you can share with us.
Yeah, I love Indian food, and we use it quite extensively in the cafe. And I just counted in all my cookbooks. There's actually 30 Indian recipes across my cookbooks. So, and obviously a lot of India is actually vegetarian or vegan. So, there's many parts that are almost entirely vegetarian in India. So they're a country that does do a lot of vegetarian. They do some meat as well, but they do some vegetarian. But I think the thing I like about Indian is just really bold flavours, really, really tasty food. And especially in winter, very warm, in particular for curries. And but don't forget, there's actually more to Indian food than curries. So I've got a few recipes to share. We've got some curries, but there's actually a lot of other formats of food of Indian that aren't curries. And also just what we often do is we kind of do a blend. We do something like another type of food and then add some Indian flavours and Indian types to it to make it Indian-esque type thing.
All right. So where do we start?
Well, I suppose the first thing I want to do is probably the single most famous European version of Indian food, which is not necessarily Indian, but it's what us Westerners kind of order by the truckload, and that is not butter chicken. Which is very popular in Indian restaurants. If you ever go to an Indian, buffet where they have all the different curries, they've normally got about 3 or 4 extra servings of not butter chicken. And so I've kind of developed a healthy version, because the traditional not butter chicken is basically, if you watch an Indian chef cook it, it is full of huge amounts of cream, obviously chicken, and they actually use food colouring to actually make it appear that beautiful red colour. So,
really? Food colouring?
Yes.
I can't believe this is like cheating.
I know, exactly. So we do a not butter chicken that I call it not butter chicken. So I'll just read you the recipe now. So the first thing to make the kind of the chicken texture is we use, I think I've shared this before, you pre-freeze your tofu. So throw the block of tofu, drain the water out of it, put it in the freezer for about 2 days. And then when you defrost it, it kind of takes on a chicken-like kind of pull-apart kind of texture.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. That's great that you repeated that tip again. That's great. Okay, so pre-freezed tofu.
Yep. And then just make a really nice curry. So the one I've got, it's in my cookbook, my first cookbook actually. Basically, you have saute up some carrots, onions, garlic, oil, and ginger puree, and you kind of saute that up for about 5 minutes or so till it's nice and soft. Add in some cumin, turmeric, and coriander, and garam masala. And if you're brave enough, a little bit of chili powder. And obviously with chili powder, you want to make sure you can add less to start with, because it goes a long way. So be very careful with your chili powder. And then some salt. And then just throw in some cans of tomatoes and some coconut cream. So you basically almost got like a tomato kind of Indian curry sauce, and then blend it up if you want, so it kind of blends the onions through when the onions are blended, it really has this beautiful sweetness that goes through the tomatoes. I think there's a bit of salt there as well. So you've got this really nice kind of tomato spicy curry with the coconut cream, getting a little bit of nice creaminess. And then you just throw in your frozen tofu and making sure you warm it up, and that's a very simple not butter chicken.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Very simple to do, easy. I love how you just blend the whole thing together to make that sauce. The only thing that I didn't quite get is you said that as far as the spices are concerned, you add a little bit of garam masala, turmeric, and this is what it goes in terms of powder, right?
Yeah, just the powders that you can get from the supermarket. So you probably want about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of each of those, depending on how kind of spicy you want it. And that just adds that nice hum that kind of goes around. Also, make sure when you activate the spices, so when you've got your onion in the pot and you add the spices at the end, make sure you stir it around for about 30 seconds for the heat to kind of help activate the spices before you add the tomato in.
And what do you eat it with? Like it's other than rice. Do you recommend any kind of sides or to go with this nut butter chicken?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, rice is obviously the default kind of accompaniment with any kind of most Indian curries. And we serve brown rice, or we actually at Cafe now serve cauliflower rice, which is just very small diced up cauliflower that looks like rice. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a low carb option, which a lot of people like. Also, you can serve it with some roti, and I've got a roti recipe coming up next. And traditionally in that kind of part of the world, a lot of people actually eat the food with their fingers and their hands. So if you want the authentic Indian experience, throw away your cutlery and see how get on with your hands.
That'll be fun.
And what you often do is you actually if you go there or watch someone eating with their hands, it's not just picking it up and throwing it in. You actually if you cup your fingers together and pull your thumb back, and you actually kind of scoop it up with your fingers, and when you put your fingers up next to your mouth, you use your thumb to kind of then roll or push the food into your mouth. So it's actually quite a cool technique to do as well.
It's a bit of a cultural shock there, but
exactly.
It's worth giving a try. It's a bit of a messy way of eating.
It is, but it's fun if you want to try it sometime. I'm sure there's some Bible lessons you can get out of that somewhere that you could do as a fun youth group activity, make everyone eat with their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's great. Love it. So nut butter chicken. What's next?
Okay. This is another kind of a curry side of things before I move on to the non-curries, and that is something just so easy. And once you do this dish once, you want to do it all the time, and that is Parka dal, which is kind of a basic staple Indian dal using red lentils, and they just cook so quickly and so easy. So basically start off with some onions, some garlic, and some ginger and some oil. Similar style, saute those around. Then add your turmeric and some cumin and some coriander. Then you add your dried red lentils, or you can use yellow lentils. Throw in some boiling water, and then let that cook for about probably 15 or 20 minutes till it's all cooked through. Mm-hmm. And then you can add some chickpeas, canned or frozen chickpeas, and a bit of coconut cream. And I quite like adding just some frozen peas as well. Give it some nice green. And again, obviously add them at the end because you don't want them kind of losing their colour. Yeah. And then a bit of salt. And so these dals with those bits of flavouring, they taste amazing. They're so warming. Again, you can have them with rice, and they're just so good for you, full of protein. And that's kind of a good staple Indian dish. So if you aren't cooking with lentils and doing dals, get stuck into them, get some recipes. There's quite a few through my cookbooks. And you'll never look back. They're just so easy, quick, nourishing, and good for you.
And these things, they also freeze pretty well, don't they?
They freeze beautifully. So make a double, triple, quadruple, 10 times batch. Put them in little containers in your freezer, and bring them out and kind of microwave them or put them in the pot and do them slowly. So it's great.
Lawson, let me tell you, man, there is nothing better than good food that you pre-cooked and you froze it, and then on those days that you're in a rush, you just take them out, heat them up, and just like you're good to go.
100%.
Mess free. That's the best thing.
That's so
very good. Look, great. It's great to have a go-to dal recipe. So thanks for that. So again, just to confirm, what are the spices that you add? You add a little bit of turmeric?
That one was turmeric, cumin, and coriander.
Okay.
Which are kind of your three spices that go together quite well.
And by coriander, you mean the actual coriander herb or the coriander seeds?
Just the dried coriander seeds, which are being made into powder.
Okay.
So you can either blend them up if you want, or just buy them. The really good thing is go to an Indian shop or some kind of an Asian shop and buy your spices there rather than those little packets in the supermarket. Mm-hmm. So you'll find them a lot cheaper, a lot fresher. And while you're there in the Indian stores, you'll discover some other little herbs and spices and things you can try as well.
Nice.
And often it's really fun talking to the owners of those shops because they're normally really good cooks, and you can say, look, can you give me some ideas? And normally they're just excited to give you some dishes or some new spices and
recipes. Oh, there you go. There you go. You really make you get your worth out of that trip. So
when I go to any kind of shop like that, an Asian or an Indian shop for things, I always talk to the owners and ask them what their favourite dish is and if they've got any recommendations.
Yeah, that is so smart, Jeremy. I never thought about that, but I guess I'll have to start doing it. Okay, so we covered our bases in the curry world. What about in the non-curry dishes? Because not all Indian food is curry, right?
Yes, exactly. So one of my other favourite one is vegetable pakoras.
Okay.
And Now, in the Indian restaurants, you'll probably find these just deep fried, so they're kind of not that healthy. But I've kind of made a kind of an in-between semi-healthy version.
Okay.
And they're basically, you get bits of vegetables and you basically dip them in a batter and then fry them.
Okay.
My favourite vegetable to do is actually cauliflower. So I've got a recipe in my cookbook 3, which uses cauliflower and onions. So basically, you chop your cauliflower up to kind of 2 or 3 centimetre kind of bite-sized pieces, and you want to basically pre-cook the cauliflower. So just steam it for a couple of minutes just to take that rawness out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make a batter up out of coriander, salt, turmeric, garam masala, and some chickpea flour. And you basically make this batter up and add some water to it, obviously, and obviously make it so it's a nice texture. Then you slice onions up really thickly. So you dip your onion rings in, you dip your cauliflower in there, and then you get a pan and you just shallow fry. So again, we're not putting a centimetre of oil in, just a few drops on the bottom of a good non-stick fry pan. And so you basically fry these cauliflower and onion kind of vegetables up with the batter on the outside. It's quite nice if you make the cauliflower kind of a little bit flatter, so it kind of...
But can I ask you a question? So I think I might have missed it.
Sure.
So on the batter, you said that you added like coriander, turmeric, garam masala, chickpea flour. What is going to make the batter runny?
The water. So.
Oh, and water. Okay.
Sorry, yes. So water, garam masala, turmeric, salt, coriander, and chickpea flour.
Okay. Got it.
So you just make it better. And obviously you can just make sure you adjust the consistency so it's not too watery, it's not too thick.
Yes, okay.
And it's obviously like... And whenever you're doing these type of things, the first one that comes out is like your first child. They're just a practice one. So make sure the first one you kind of want to then get your kind of batter right and get your temperature right. So the second one you normally get a better run.
But will the cauliflower and the onion, when you're adding them there, are they going to glue and stick together, or is it going to be what?
So you just do them individually. So you have a nice big pan and you just kind of place them on their own. You're not throwing a big mix in there. You're just doing them individually. So dip a bit of cauliflower into the batter, put it in the pan.
Okay.
And you kind of do them separately. Take a little bit of the care to do them separately.
Okay.
Cook for about a couple of minutes, flip them, and then do the other side. So they're a little bit fiddly, so you want to keep them so they're not too small. You don't want to be flipping 500 little bits of cauliflower. You probably want about 20 or 30 bits you kind of flip, but just stick at it. And also, whenever you're doing anything like this, the first one, just do a couple to get it underway, and then you might say, okay, the cauliflower's a bit thick, or it's a bit too hot, or the batter's a bit too runny, I need to add some more chickpea flour. So then adjust, and then you normally write from there on in.
Okay. Would that work for an air fryer recipe as well, or would it be too messy?
It probably would. You actually get a better result with like a sear, like actually with a hot surface that it's on.
Okay,
If you put them in an air fryer, you're kind of more baking them. Having said that, I haven't done it, but it would work. You just get a different result. So,
okay.
And you get away with less oil as well. So yes, you could. To answer your question, yes, you could do it in an air fryer.
Yeah.
Although I've really just done it on a non-stick pan with a little bit of oil. So, again, yeah. So and then basically you serve them, put them in a bowl, and they're really nice to eat with your hands or as an accompaniment. And the onion kind of cooks through a little bit as well. So they're really just lovely things to have as a side dish to your Indian meal. Put a few herbs on it, or you can do a little some kind of a dip or Indian dip to go with it as well.
Nice. Love it. All right, we only have a couple of seconds left. Do you still have a recipe, a quick one for us? Maybe something sweet.
Okay, so I was going to. Yes, I do, and the best smoothie you can make is a mango lassi.
Okay, let's talk about mango lassi. We could not finish that interview without a mango lassi. How do we make it properly?
Yeah, so how they make it in the restaurant, they'll add like it's basically full-on fat yogurt, maybe some cream with some huge amounts of sugar, mango syrup and pulp and some mango. So the ones in the Indian restaurants are very, very high in fat and very, very high in sugar.
Okay.
So what I like pretty much do is like a mango smoothie. So pretty much you throw in some banana, throw in some plant milk, throw in some mango, and blend that up and make a really nice thick smoothie. And you can add some cardamom or a bit of cinnamon in it to give a little bit of flavour as well. And the frozen mango, use frozen mango, but you want to make sure you've got quite a high quantity of frozen mango. It's not just a tenth, it's probably about a half frozen mango. So it's really thick, basically this really nice thick smoothie, and pour it out, and it's a really nice, healthy mango lassi.
Oh, that's so good. I'm feeling like just going right after the show to a supermarket, buying some frozen mangoes and just trying that up in my home. Jeremy, thank you so much.